Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. If you are a potential learner or interested in being a learner on the new Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate, this session is for you. So before we get into it, let's do a few introductions. So my name is Sian and I'm the Director of Education at FuturU. We'll be telling you a little bit more about FuturU and all the things we do, as well as the new care certificate. And let me pass over to Mark for him to introduce himself as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark and I'm Head of Learning Innovation at FuturU. So my team is responsible for supporting learners and for developing the learning content. That's me.
And we've also got Alex on the call as well this morning, who is ably assisting, taking all of your questions and sharing links as she mentioned. Okay, so we've got about 45 minutes today. We want to try and leave some time for your questions at the end. So if we can skip through to the next slide, Mark, please.
Okay.
Yeah, so some of the things we'll be covering today, we'll be telling you a little bit about the new Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate, how that can benefit you in terms of your own career development, professional progression in health and social care, eligibility, how to work out if you're eligible to become a learner on the programme, and an introduction to FuturU, an introduction to us, and our approach to learning, so how we've designed the certificate and how we deliver it. We're also providing some guidance about approaching your employer about the qualification. This qualification is a new qualification and there is some government funding available currently for this. But the funding mechanism is that the employer has to claim for it. So we're providing some information at the end to help you to approach your employer and give them the information they need to claim for that funding. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about us at FuturU. We are an online learning platform and a training provider. And there are kind of three pillars to what we do. Firstly, through our online e-learning platform, we provide free access to a whole range of health and social care training. We've got over 100 CPD accredited courses, which Mark and his team have designed. And when you sign up to access those courses, you do so absolutely free of charge. And you become part of a community, an online community of 90,000 healthcare professionals who are already on the platform engaging with that learning. There's a library of over 100 courses, as I've said, and these cover all aspects of health and social care, from specialist areas like dementia and epilepsy, to some of the more generic core competencies for everybody working in health and social care. We're also an Ofqual recognised awarding organisation for adult care apprenticeship endpoint assessments. So we assess apprenticeships in health and social care levels 2 to levels 5. Also assess apprenticeships in business and leadership apprenticeship standards. We are Ofqual recognised to both deliver and award the new Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate. We're also approved to deliver Scottish vocational qualifications in health and social care and certificate in assessing vocational achievement. So if people are interested in becoming assessors in their own workplace, we can support with that as well. One of the things that makes us distinct, apart from our sort of tech-led approach to learning and the fact that this is free to people like you who are working in health and social care, is that all of our assessors, our team, including our education team, have health and social care backgrounds themselves. So we're really embedded in the sector and can offer that sort of expertise and that really depth of knowledge and understanding in terms of the support that we can offer to learners. The content that we design and deliver, and Mark will tell you more about this later, is designed to be engaging and immersive, but more importantly, very flexible to access. We know that you all have very busy lives. You've got very demanding working situations, working shifts, and so on. So what we design is intended to be flexible, accessible on a range of devices, and to offer you opportunities to learn in a sort of bite-sized way around other commitments. So, turning now to the new Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate. Some of you may be aware there was a pre-existing care certificate which had been around for a number of years, I think about 10 years. We think the new Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate is a really exciting development for a number of reasons. It's been designed, commissioned by the Department for Health and Social Care in collaboration with Skills for Care, the sector representative body for health and social care in England. And one of the things that we think is exciting about it is actually a qualification. It's a robustly assessed qualification rather than just a set of standards. It builds on the standards of the existing care certificate, but enhances and develops those. And it's part of a whole raft of thinking that the government's been doing around how to offer progression routes for people working in health and social care, how to really recognise the vital contribution that you will make in the sector, to offer you opportunities to develop your skills and progress professionally. One of the things that's really important about this qualification is it is portable. So it's nationally recognised and portable. So if you undertake this qualification, that will be recognised by any employer that you subsequently choose to work with, and demonstrate that you have you've reached a standard, a nationally recognised standard in terms of all of the core competencies required for a career in health and social care. So in terms of the benefits of this 2U, as I said, it covers all of the core competencies, the foundational skills and knowledge that are essential for providing high quality care. Boosting your employability. So in terms of opening up opportunities for you in terms of your own career development, the new qualification, it's accredited, fully accredited, nationally recognised, formally assessed. So as I said, if you have this qualification, that demonstrates a benchmark of knowledge and skills which will be recognised in any employer that you go to. It's an entry-level step. It's an important first step in the care workforce pathway, which is the pathway that the government has developed. So it's designed to provide adult social care professionals with a recognised qualification. That's part of that progression route that I mentioned to help develop yourselves and your own career. So by pursuing this, you're also, of course, I think vitally ensuring that you will be able to provide the best quality care you can to the recipients of care. So great outcomes both in terms of your own professional progression and your development, but also in terms of the outcomes of the people who are receiving care as well. So I will talk now a little bit about what the new qualification covers. It builds on, as I said, the standards of the existing care certificate, but also enhances and develops those. It consists of 15 units. Some of these units cover what I would say the core or foundational competencies, knowledges, skills, behaviours that are required. So understanding about your own personal development, the duty of care, understanding of your own role, communication, and so on. But also builds on these with specific health and social care related skills and competencies, nutrition and hydration, for example, infection control, and also includes, unlike the previous care certificate, aspects of mandatory training. So aspects brought about through the Oliver McGowan Review, awareness of learning disabilities and autism as well. So I'll pass over to Mark now to talk a little bit more about how this new qualification differs or builds on the standards of the existing care certificate.
Hi everyone. So really this is a summary of a number of the points that Sian has made, but just thinking about the existing or old care certificate, as we're calling it, and how it compares to the new qualification, the new level 2 care certificate. So the old one was non-regulated, and what that means is that it was down to the employer to award that, and the standard vary between different employers, but this one, the new one, is quality assured and accredited, which means that it is a national standard, and anybody that achieves it can be reassured that they have met the knowledge, skills and behaviours that are required consistently. As a result of that, it means that it's more portable than the previous one. So the previous one, because there was a variety of standards in the way that it was delivered and awarded, meant that some employers would not accept the care certificate that had been awarded by another employer. But this one, because it's a national standard, will be fully portable. And it's fully portable because there are formal assessments involved. So you can expect to be assessed in the workplace. You can expect to be assessed in a variety of ways by assessors. And that might be through professional discussion. So talking about how you apply your knowledge, skills and behaviours in the workplace, or doing reflective statements. So you reflecting on moments of care that you've delivered and how you've brought your knowledge, skills and behaviours to those moments. Also, as Sian mentioned, there is funding available. So again, at the end, we'll equip you with some information for you to approach your employer to make sure that your employer is able to access funding for you, and also to give you a set of words that you can use to describe what the benefits would be for you to undertake this qualification. The previous care certificate, it was an entry-level standard that was offered, but this one the new one forms part of a career pathway. So this is a level 2 qualification, and the intention is from the government and Skills for Care that developed it, is that you will then go on to achieve a level 3 or a level 5 and so on, and develop a career in care, which perhaps hasn't been that apparent up until now. As a result of all of this, the formal assessment, the learning involved and so on, it takes longer to complete this. So it's estimated that it will take about 6 months, but it is flexible, again, as Sian said, so it will fit around you. If you're only working part-time, then it might take you longer, and if you're really committed and motor through, then it might take less than 6 months, but it will take longer than the previous care certificate. And the benefit of working with FuturU is that you can access the learning anywhere through our app. There is no classroom that you have to attend on certain days. It's really down to you and when you're available to undertake that learning and assessment. So, thinking about your eligibility, this is different to other funded qualifications and apprenticeships, and I think more generous. So these are the things that you need to be able to tick off to be sure that you are eligible for funding to take on this level 2 care certificate. So first of all, you're employed in an adult social care role, and this is an English qualification, so you need to be employed in England. Second thing, that you need to be 19 or above, and you need to be working in care, have some experience or be new to care, but certainly not already have a level 2 qualification or above in care. And for your employer to be able to draw the funding, they need to meet certain criteria, which is fairly straightforward, and they'll be familiar with that, and that will be part of what we equip you with to share with your employer. So some of the things that it doesn't mention on there, and some of the things that we often get asked, is about people who are new to this country, so people that have come from elsewhere and are working. As long as you are eligible to work in this country and you pay national insurance, then you will be eligible again for this qualification. However, you may be sat there wondering, well, okay, I might not meet that criteria. What can I do? Well, you can still access all of our content for free by downloading our app, and I think Alex has put the link in the chat. So you can go on and you can access all of those 100+ courses anywhere, anytime for free. You can download your certificates and you can demonstrate to a potential employer that you're committed to learning and have a better chance of getting that job. So even if you're not eligible for this qualification, then there is still a world of learning out there that you can access at any time for free. So I also get to talk a bit about why our approach is different to other organizations and training providers. And for the learning aspect of the qualification and for our learning generally, we take a story-led approach. Now, what that means, Sian shared with you the 15 standards that go to make up the care certificate. So things like duty of care and fluid and nutrition and communication and so on. But we don't teach you that in separate chunks because it doesn't make sense. When you're delivering care, all of these things come together at the same time in these moments of care. So we create stories, and I'll introduce you to some of the characters now or in a moment, where you get to learn how to navigate all of those different care situations. And you bring all of those skills and all of that knowledge and all of those behaviors to all of those situations. So we think that this is a game changer. We think that it's more immersive and engaging than other ways of delivering this qualification. And we think it helps you kind of link your knowledge and skills and behaviors to real world practical settings. So these are the characters that you are likely to meet when you undertake the care certificate. And they're a lovely bunch of people, and I will introduce just a few of them in more detail. So on the left, you've got Ramin, and Ramin will be your guide as you go through the learning content. He will tell you exactly why certain things are important. If you get asked a question, he will tell you whether that's right or not, and the reasons for that. And he will really be there to introduce you to all of the people that you'll be expected to give care to, explain what their needs are, and explain what it is that is particular about that person, and what kind of knowledge, skills and behaviors you need to bring to those situations. We've got Kessia in the middle. She's a young adult. She is a wheelchair user. She's fed through a peg. She has epilepsy and experiences incontinence. And she is a very outgoing, fashion-conscious young lady who likes to go out and socialize with her friends. And your challenge as her carer is to enable her to live her life to its fullest. But Kessia also has some mental health challenges, and as a result, she often self-harms. So you need to build a relationship with Kessia that has got enough trust in it that she trusts you with supporting her with her mental health challenges. And then we've got Major Bingley on the right-hand side. So Major Bingley is experiencing early signs of dementia, and that's going to be a challenge for you about how you communicate to Major Bingley. So often, if you're overcomplicated in the way that you communicate, he won't really understand what it is that you're saying. So you need to find a way of communicating to him to make sure that he understands exactly what's going on and what you're doing. So these are just some examples of the lovely characters that you'll get to meet, and we hope that you will grow to love them as much as we do. So, in terms of why you might want to complete this qualification with us, and this is a summary of some of the things that we have said already. So first of all, we're an online platform. That means that all of the learning you can do in your own time, anywhere, on any device, and that gives you a great deal of control and flexibility over how you complete this qualification. So we're not expecting you to be in classrooms. We're expecting you to engage with these stories and these characters on and through our platform. And we think that that's engaging and, dare I say, fun, because it's story-led and scenario-based. So we recognise that that the care that you provide doesn't just have communication challenges or just doesn't represent a health and safety challenge. It's all of these things all of the time. So we think the way that we present the learning to you equips you better to handle real life situations and provide the best care that you can. And of course, we're geared up, and Sean's team particularly are geared up to support you every step of the way. So you will be assigned a learning support coordinator, and their responsibility will be to support all of your journey through this qualification. So you will have somebody to talk to. It won't just be a faceless platform that you'll be interacting with. And of course, there is a whole world of learning that you get access to. So if you download the app, then you can access all of our content, all of our CPD content. You can boost and support and develop your skills in social care as a result of undertaking as many courses as you want to take for free. So there's just some reasons, and I'd probably add to that, we're all very nice people too. Yeah, we're all here committed to your success. So the final thing, if you've got a phone to hand, and I think, Alex, we're going to be sending a link out to this. Yeah, there we go. So there's a link in the chat for this, and that will provide you with a set of resources to approach your employer, to inform your employer how to go about getting funding to support you on your social care certificate journey, but also describes the benefits to your employer of you undertaking that qualification. So I think that's everything from us, and now it's over to Alex to see. Alex, are there any questions that have popped up?
So we did have one question about the online training more generally, which I have answered, but we haven't had any more. So if anybody would like to ask a question, please do go ahead and share them in the chat, and Mark and Sean will be able to answer those for you. In the meantime, I will just share a few more links in the chat. So a link to our email address. If you have any questions after today's session, you can contact us at support@futureu.ai and the team will be in touch. I've also shared a link to our blog, which has lots and lots of really useful information all about the new qualification and this working in care more generally. So please do check that out. And I've shared it before, but I'll share it once more. Our link to creating your own free FuturU account. You can access the FuturU platform via your phone on our app, and you can also access it via a desktop computer or laptop.
Lovely.
Is it worth just in response to the question that was posted, Alex? I think the question was, is it just online learning, or are there practical elements as well? So just to clarify to everyone, that there are a few different parts to this qualification. Once learners register with us, once they're registered, they get access to all of the online training that Mark has talked you through, and you can get started on that, and you can do that at your own pace. You are supported by a learning coordinator, but also we have teams of specialist assessors. So the formal assessment part of the qualification comes later. Once you've started your e-learning and you're progressing through that, based on some initial conversations and sort of assessment of progress, which is made with our team and with you, seeing how you're getting on. When you're ready for assessment, there will be work-based aspects, there'll be practical aspects to that assessment. So our assessors will actually want to see how you have reflected on your learning in your workplace and in your professional life. So things like professional discussions, observations of practice, reflective practice, and so on. So it's not just online learning, it's also supported by our team of assessors who've all got health and social care backgrounds. And there will be formal aspects to that assessment at the point that you're ready to go through those as well.
And we also recognise that, and we would work in partnership with the employer, that there will be practical learning that goes on in the workplace. So while you might undertake our moving and handling course, for example, there will also be an expectation that you would be supported in applying that learning in a practical sense in the workplace. And the employer, as employers generally do, would be reassuring themselves that you're competent of doing that before you conduct anything like that on your own. So there will also be work-based training and work-based learning that you'll be doing. Our belief is that our story-led approach equips you much better for doing all of those activities than simple e-learning.
Thank you. We have had a question from Mary. So Mary doesn't have any recourse to public funding. And so she's asking how she can get to learn the level 2 adult social care certificate.
That's a very good question, Mary. So you can still access our download our app and access the content. So you'll be able to complete the content. But in order to complete the assessment, you need to be in a workplace. And if that workplace is an adult social care provider, which it needs to be for you to do this qualification, then I would say it's approaching your employer to get them to access funding on your behalf.
If anyone has any other questions, then please do feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll be sending an email out after the session with a recording in case you want to watch anything back, and also some of the links that we've shared today. So if you haven't had a chance to grab them from the chat, then don't worry, I'll be sending them across to you shortly.
Lovely. We just had someone join. It's you may have missed it.
But don't worry, there'll be a recording, so so you can watch it back in your own time. And as I said before, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@futureu.ai, and we'll get back to you. We've had a question from Owesa Emmanuel. Do you provide MAPA certificate?
So this is MAPA, known as MAPA. We don't provide MAPA on the platform. So we've got some positive behaviour support dealing with challenging behaviour or behaviours that challenge. And we've got a really interesting 360 video, so an immersive video on behaviours that challenge, that puts you in the mind, or from the point of view of the person receiving the care, to understand why some of those behaviours might be triggered in the first place. But MAPA is a very specific set of moves and a very specific qualification that requires physical training. So that's something that we don't provide at the moment.
We have had a question from Bridget. How much does it cost to complete the new care certificate?
Should I take that one?
Yeah.
So, so the new care certificate costs, I mean, there is government guidance on how much providers should charge for this. So there is a band, a recommended band. Our qualification costs £1,200 for the full qualification. So that's access to all of the e-learning and the assessment and the award of the qualification. And as we've said, there is currently government funding available for eligible employers to draw down to cover the costs for their employees. So as Alex and Mark have said, if your employer is eligible, if you meet the criteria to study and to learn the qualification, you can approach your employer and ask them to make a claim for funding for you, and the full cost of that qualification will be covered for eligible staff and eligible employers. So hopefully that helps.
We have a question from Ayodele. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't been able to pick shift since I joined. Who is the employer that will vouch for me?
Okay, so just to be clear, does that mean you're working more freelance, or you're working for a range of different employers? So I guess what I'd say is that it's employers who need to claim the funding, obviously, for their staff. Staff need to be directly employed in those settings, but they can be in both regulated or non-regulated care settings. So Alex has shared the resources to actually approach your employer to give them all of the guidance and the information they need and access to the links that they would need to start making that funding claim. Yeah, and Alex is just sharing that again. So hopefully that helps.
Thanks, Shan. I think we might have lost Mark.
Any other questions?
Otherwise, I think we might be able to leave it there. As I said, I'll be sharing a recording of the session. So for anybody that joined us a little bit later, you can catch up there. And there'll also be all the links that I've shared in the email as well. Mark is back. But I think we might be able to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, Shan and Mark, for hosting this session. Thank you so much to everybody who's been able to join us today. We really hope you found today's session useful, and we look forward to seeing you soon as you undertake the Level 2 Adult Social Care Certificate, hopefully.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.